Welcome back. I'm making some hummus, but with sweet potato. So it's a red hummus. It's pink. It's a very pretty colour. And I have a jar of chickpeas, but they're not as complete as I want them. I've got 1 lemon and I've got some garlic. I've got a bit of pepper and I will be adding some salt. So the first thing to do is start preparing, because I need to cook this, and it is a nice colour. Some of them are yellow. They'll still work. There's not a lot between the flavours, but it isn't really that. It's just that if I can get a red one, it just looks so much prettier. This is very useful. You can have it with dips, with toasts. You can have it as part of a pile of platters with drinks, because in this hot weather there's very little cooking. The only cooking is this, and I'm going to put it in a pot in the microwave so you won't get your kitchen all full of heat, which is really nice. Right, so that bit, this, I'm going to slice it a bit so this sweet potato will cook that much easier in the microwave. Oh dear. Smaller is always quicker. So I've got this fancy pot, but you could use any pot for your microwave. I know that this will take me about 6 minutes on 1000, but you could be using a different power. You could be using something glass with a saucer on top. You could be doing whatever. I'm sure you'll find your own way to get this sweet potato soft, because that's all you're aiming for. And it's more nutritious, and it's more than a change. It's an enhancement of the very basic hummus. So I just put a little bit of water in, which is here. This is what I do. I'm basically trying to steam it. I'm not doing anything clever. That goes on and it goes in. So it's 1000 watts, and I'm putting it on for a straight 5 minutes. I want them very soft. Now, these are pre-cooked. That's going to save you a lot of heat. But most people make a bit of a mistake with them. They use them directly from the jar or the tin to make hummus. That will produce the wrong texture. The thing to do is to try to float. You've got your clean hands. Now you just float off the outsides. You can be quite aggressive with them. This particular jar I get locally, but it's had a sort of minimal cooking. Now you can keep doing this until you're pretty convinced that almost everything is loose. Then you can pull them off. I've got one of these sievey things, and you can just, this changes the texture. If you can get rid of these, you end up with that lovely velvet texture. Onto that velvet, you can add real ingredients and make it taste really good. But we don't want these. These are going to produce a slightly coarser texture and spoil the wonderful flavour. I'm going to give it another wash, and I think you'll see it's beginning to not have any that are not covered. It's beginning to look like they're all finished. Now this may look like a pain, and it's not difficult, but it's a little bit time consuming, but it changes everything. And you're doing quite a large quantity here. Oh, well, there's 400 grams in there, but as you're adding other ingredients like the sweet potato, it comes up, it bulks up to quite a good size. You can get quite a few people round a table with this and a couple of other dips, and you're home and dry without too much heat in the kitchen. And this is, you've got your hands in cold water, so it's not the end of the world. Right, we're doing quite well. Right, so as you can see, I've taken them off. I should imagine there may be 2 or 3 left, but maybe not, I don't know. And that's what you've got off. And that's all the stuff that makes it not so nice. Okay? It doesn't weigh anything. It just, it's like peeling an orange. You wouldn't not, would you? Now I'm just going to take a bit of water and I'm going to just give it a little wash. And look, we've got 2, 3, as I said, because it's always the same every time I do this. There you are. Now, if I strain that, we're home and dry. So now what I'm going to do, it's had its 5 minutes and I'm going to test it. They sometimes do take 6, but I'm just going to test it. And look, they're very tender. They're really tender, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to pop this in here without the liquid. There you are. If you wanted, you could have boiled it in a saucepan, but it produces more heat in my kitchen. We slice this up. It's a lemon. And I find with these, I can, if I just do that, cut them in, I can do that. I can take a wooden spoon and I'm able to squeeze them. And the same with the other side. So now what I'm going to do is my garlic cloves. Now you don't have to add as much garlic as I do. Now I'm chopping it up because it's kind of clogs my blender. Well, it clogs them up, so I like to just stop anything like a ball because it kind of gets between the blades in mine. I've got some pepper. Things you could add are cumin, but this is pepper. And I think you do need pepper. It gives it a little bit of fire. Most people like pepper, except children. If I've got my grandchildren here, I just don't use the pepper at all in anything. So we've got that, we've got that. We're going to add a little bit of cumin. Not a lot. We don't want to overwhelm anything because those sweet potatoes taste wonderful. And I'm going to add these back in. Now I need a drop of water. This is cold water. Bit more water. Now you can see it's turning into quite a heavy puree. But what we're going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And I'm going to add a choice of olive oil, and I'm definitely going for this one. It's so nice. I've only been able to buy this once. The particular variety of grape makes a very fruity, slightly acidy, incredibly tasty olive oil. It's a really zesty olive oil. And I don't know if I'll ever get it again, so I've been very mean with how much I use. But this is the sort of thing that I've really got to use it on. And because I had such a miserable little lemon, I will be adding a choice of vinegar. And it's this one I like. This always adds a sort of heady lightness. It's a white balsamic. If you haven't got that, just use more lemon. It should have been a good tablespoon of lemon juice, and it really wasn't. Okay. If you don't have one of these handy little devices, just cook your chickpeas after taking all the outsides off with your potato after you've peeled it. So they are incredibly soft. And then just push them through a sieve. I say just. The reason I use this is because this is 2 minutes and the sieve will probably take you 20 minutes. But the result will be maybe even better out of the sieve. You can see that this is a really, really pretty hummus. So I promise the addition of a vegetable to chickpeas doesn't even taste like hummus. So we'll put that on a presentation dish and take it with some toasts, with some bread, with some crisps, with some chips, with anything you want. And it's really wonderful. It also goes with crunchy lettuce. You can take crunchy lettuce leaves, just pieces, and put blobs of that on, and just things that you can use easy to eat, because this is a really hot day. It's 36, and I probably said it about 20 times. 36 is just unbearable for me. But we still need to eat, and this is a great thing to eat. If you want a richer one, then use more of your olive oil. If you want to change it into a sauce to pour it over things, add some more of your water. It's really simple to do. So it tastes good, but put it in the fridge, store it covered for probably 4 to 6 hours, and it's 10 times as good, because all the flavors become just more. I don't really know how to describe it. You'd think they just amalgamate, but they enhance one another. This is a simple dip, and I would recommend this very, very strongly to anyone, even if you're not that fond of chickpeas. So I'll put it on a plate and we'll show you what it looks like later.